Mane fa na se ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Ya dedika mencha na mencha wate for. Na menka se nema bi o hwa de yamu bi yate hwa yehu no. Ebia ukogyan brosan ta so 30 kra unhu. Because this particular issue by frivolous. And the woman is only shopping forums. Say beya obetanish the image of Ghana in the light of Nema na SEC because say processes be say koswa adia betimi agina so de aya sema obeka aya the constitutional infractions process no question occasion and I say aside that in a violation of your human right and then as a forum. But all these forums no are available to her. And we are very lucky to understand say when it comes to human rights violations, Article 33 of the 1992 Constitution say without prejudice to any other ongoing process, so human right are violated that you can separate it. Now what pursue on that particular way or high court. And in the course of the assembly, it doesn't matter as assembly course no. Who feel is a human right, and I'm saying constitution they put to premium on it, you can isolate it, now pursue in the high court to make sure say that particular your friends are right, and court, say audituma they will issue those prerogative rights, very consequential orders from the court. I immediately that violation either to stop or you better can be so you better restore, and that is quite clear. So I was suspecting say the woman. Me, I used to say and she was using, and at the end of the day, all the platforms are seeking all the relief were thrown out because seven na all the namnu na elin swaba because metana ha catch say the process are lead to the removal no there was no point in it. Obi betimi agina ba bi din sa si nebo say ye from memra we ye jumping over this constitutional provision. And now this provision was circumvented, and as a particular process or procedure was circumvented, and that will be a basis nipa be to be general so aka say abano anye de say oye MPP 40C Chrome when she was removed making a lot of noise, but none of them and etime grandel the argument in law etime raise constitutional violation, etime raise any constitutional infraction be akoso, and not even aside the constitution other laws govern these things, and nobody was able to raise anything substantial. I will bet me allege say there has been certain infractions. Then the GBA also came in, and then I said this was a group of lawyers. You expect them to speak to issues of law, but every year, these became mere allegations, conjectures, and suppositions. Individuals, natural margin keke. They were not able to pontificate exact constitutional infractions at our occasion the same way the woman. So the whole thing became like. NDC naba and na Chief Justice Assem and you let us go home with that particular narrative. Now you come and talk man without delving into the actual issues. But my culture as a president need to me under the current constitutional dispensation to remove Chief Justice. The same way a president any who can so obey your an EC boss of But the president, the power of removal only becomes activated when he is petitioned. It is only at that point that the president get drawn into the process. And he doesn't have discretion or exercise it. Yes, in second petition now. On Council of State. Council of State may establish the prima facie. No who said there are constitutional reasonable basis. It makes sense. It says in some or more cannot be frivolous. Because constitution mentioned just threatens. And no one a bit me Chief Justice infirmity both body and mind. I don't know they do why a doctor for us. Then misbehavior and your financial incompetence. And then within the realm of this individual they can. And issues no by President in second or the Council of State. Council of State and one person. A group of individuals more been me a lawyers, been me a Chief Justice, a former Chief Justice, been me away, and no more so. Upon further deliberation and interrogation of the fact, conclude say, sa process, and so womb, me do jina hase. Now me do go back to Mami, I saw your Council of State member while resigning because Torkornoo. And you see the level of hypocrisy on the part of this woman. President Mahama ni Torkornoo there, the president Saka petition or the Kokoma Council of States, which is a group of experienced people from different backgrounds, your friends saying lawyers, former way, a group of people, they understand our diverse view, are quite clear.
Yeah.
Abra petition President Akuffo, I am not doing comparison, but just to educate people to understand certain things. Your petition say ye Charlotte say free honor. The president in Saka petition now forwarded to Chief Justice. That Chief Justice is Sophia Akuffo. The Constitution per Article 146(3)(2)(3) no can say the Chief Justice will determine prima facie, not Council of State. Chief Justice is a group of people.
David.
A sole discretion of an individual. So me catch us say Akuffo ne Sophia Akuffo and all ye the day and the Pam Charlotte say you should know that she was part of the process. Single-handedly. Or no quantify documents in already a petition from faceless group of people. Or no things no Akuffo there are basis NTN set up a committee. And committee now you setting or can who be because a judicial council and on no appointed 3 justices from the court. And or no together with the Council of State as appointed 2 other people who are non-lawyers, parliamentarian, police officers. Now among years way, let them count 5. No more than so. So this is the role of Sophia Akuffo, who today is going around town, making it look like Torkornoo at the Bonnie. She was the sole engineer in establishing the prima facie against Charlotte Osei for her removal. Because at that point, if this moral, your friend saying orchestra or nama or ye, if that particular moral way was brought to bear, she could have truncated that frivolous process initiated against Charlotte Osei, but she didn't. And then, so what that's already see criminal way are you not a hypocrite? And will any serious person take you serious? Because in the past, of course, against another person, you single-handedly established prima facie against the woman for her removal. Now, a group of people are quite tenacity, and is she saying that she's better than the other people, or your wife such a yobiana? And is it the attitude of if it is not me and the baby no, your friend saying I think that kind of your friend saying hypocrisy is very nauseating and very annoying. And when these things are causing, you don't even hear anybody reminding her of her involvement in the removal of Charlotte Osei. She single-handedly, that point has to be emphasized because the Constitution, Article 146 says the Chief Justice, upon receiving the petition, will determine prima facie single-handedly. So moto, when you removing the pardon and yet single person, a group of events, a Council of State. No more Swatana who say Torkornoo issue that are basis then you go around saying what? I think they should give us a break. So Council of State, they were able to, according to sources, I don't know how to it, but according to them, almost 31 members voted and 30. I say there are bases, which is only this woman and who said no from it. And I saw recuse
yes, I want to be.
That is according to sources, if that is true. Then as I'm not buy the same process in Charlotte Osei, the same process, a committee, a team, your friend saying, a body was set up. Various compositions were brought to bear. They sat on the matter, deliberated, gave the Chief Justice the right to be heard. Because principles of natural justice, you can't hear being pronounced or be guilty without giving the person the opportunity, either in person or her lawyers. And she came out with a lot of frivolous allegations about going to your friend saying Old Castle. Why I was saying what for and so the whole thing was a sort of an emotional package. Not all sell it to Ghanaians. Fall in, but at the time the atmosphere in the country, Ghana for nobody was ready to listen to her because of the past. Then judiciary from time the judiciary now. The only thing binding us together as a country to their dinner. Every judiciary gatam, social media, a subject of public mortification, among for a ridicule ruling bar, among for a question, and sometimes you sat down and you analyze some of the ruling and the poverty of intellect, the poverty of logic, the poverty of reasoning. In some of the ruling now about ordinary person on see law school dakra who are things ruling where they say binyansa nim. Those episodes in your baba siakom. So Ghana for felt to say, your judiciary is so dirty that something needed to be done. And these are the individuals that free say because not my men are judiciary say and personal property. Or say the law is the law. But today, and you run and you general to the and then your friend is saying, young recite it as a beer, and you the same law now. And you general so the principle of the law is the law must be upheld in this particular regard. So I think that one or more doubt about the process. People who felt to say President Mahama Nabana Torkornoo and will use the process to hunt her out. I was happy when the issue of jurisdiction raised, was not allowed to say because on that technical grounds, and delve deeper into the issues. And the court allegations of human rights violation because that and we are or invoke Ghana your constitution, and then she invoked the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Two-way, and they say that she's gone beyond the fundamental human right as enshrined in our constitution to the point that what could do the African Charter, chapter Article 7. And can't about the human rights those way, no. Court to not say a pensem who's no mamma. And some now can any legal basis be because process now will come once no. And Rama or modify or modify, no. Your human right was at no point violated because at the end of the day, baby, I will say President is a Council of State established the prima facie. Young farmer on never kind, Constitution intro, baby, I say establishing prima facie and I assume dinner you could control who rule in their brow. No, it is just a discussion exercised by the Council of State. We are all that you need to do is say young communicate it to you, say because in the past, you see, Nipa meaning quite Mame Sophia Akuffo. Abra establish a prima facie against a lot of say no or throw a letter ruling the explanation can the commercial lot. Sometimes a man for behavior to say the double standard is so annoying and so nauseating because this is not the first time either the Chief Justice, a Council of State established a prima facie. Remember Justice Derry and Akuffo, all of them were removed during the announced time. At the point, did anybody write your friend said detailed enumeration of what constitute your friend saying or what constituted prima facie at the time? Let your comment say President in the prima facie in the kind. No, it's just a determination. And the Constitution makes no further declarations. Young for documents be mrau. But over the years, my catches a crumano. Over the years now, my concern has always been the Constitution. This is what the Constitution has said. So procedurally, we can come up with a certain ally regulating it. This is what the Constitution is saying. But in the implementation process, this is what we are doing. From Kufuor basin there. Now, bedroom see the do a fena over church.
Me wa Chief Justice be
yes, because we see the constitutional documents near very bulk. And sometimes the amount bit by bit implementation of how it should be done. And now say as a nipa that said in yet say at the emraba a regulated, for instance, this your friend is saying act of parliament here, but it's all kind of sometimes a bulky, a simplified. I'm fine saying who said a missing can you say a summary, because we need to be written. That is why we have LI. So the legislative instrument, will be carved out of the Act of Parliament, giving it bit by bit processes. Because Constitution bit say Friday be a say yakoboko.
Okay.
Constitution say every day we are say yakoboko. Boko na ye kon on chirem say ye betu.
And ye bury ya.
Ye betena prayer so. You better tell me, and now you better wait.
Okay.
So they should be as a Friday be a koboko. So there should be an ally that will streamline. Bokono, ye quiet, ye be far bass. You do techima, ye be home. You do techima, ye be twas why you say, sir, a coco do bokono tam benes, you could do her. So there should be that. So this particular Article 146, as enumerating the removal of the Chief Justice and the Nyan Sadias and Kayan will come will be and say, yeah, coming out with the proper regulations. Say a cassette will be establishing the prima facie and what will constitute the establishment of prima facie? Should it be an adjudication process or a sole discretion of a single individual in the case of what Sophia Akuffo did to Charlotte say. What does that make? If it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes, because when we have these procedures outlined, then there will be no question of Yamfa Prama Fasia Namra, and a woman or Pama money. What on the Bible would come out? What I say? So I think some of these double standard anti Prama Fasia no Casa young but church in the mono, obeying why I church the machino. The constitution says say establish here the president they should go ahead and set up a committee. And that committee was set up, headed by a judge. And the funny aspect of it all is that the woman only used the occasion to disgrace herself because it got to a point that judges, Supreme Court judges, and now because she's the administrative head of the judiciary. They work directly under you. They should be that respect. And then as for other can't say, so they should be removed from the way. That was very deep. A child said, Ajumana or Tiho, there is a seeming rift between Ono, Ninkrofon, or Mosana, element of trust in you. Nasa won't go for a judge, money bias against what? Banana, how much more?
Yeah, THD.
Who's a young son? Because if Assembly or can is anything to go by, say judges just beneath her will be biased against her. Now, me no, I'm hiding. I say what I said. Yes. And then some now was rather exposing her the more. And I was surprised when in her relief, she was saying, say your money $10 million. Hey, $10 million, but now I could do no and what young constitution, and set it aside. Your friend say a sole discretion that has been conferred on the in your sole discretion, the process that has been conferred on the president, our activity, a Ghanaian constitutional process, what they achieve the outcome, an outside court, which is the ECOWAS human rights way, should set aside that jurisdiction. They don't have it. Human right violation, yes, but to say it's a human right violation, will amount to invalidation of the process, right? It's another thing.
Yeah.
And no say yam father back. Or may Chief Justice. And let me hear your name say no. Or may Chief Justice of Crubes to go and answer Benin. And I crew just imagine say ECOWAS court to buy. No say Torkornoo's human right has been violated, and for that matter, a consequential order has been given that she should be restored. And in any budget about Chief Justice of Crubes.
How I'm coming to me,
Chief Justice of Crubes. In the name of your heart, let us be realistic. Hey, I don't know. 1 to 2 near my and you want to do China because process no can say you to a month for at the beginning of it. The wisest thing as and call you and say what resigning at that point you be entitled to your benefit. But you go through this process now, you have been found guilty. You're not entitled to anything, you understand? And so that is the part and call 10 million and their shareholder not campus away. Or they say my culture among for say arrogance of power and found with baby. When to me. Now what is a what in the paso? Tell to me, that Sabinansa and a winning. So, I wouldn't to me and the honor wing to Kumase baby and not a cancer buna and you go to Coconut or Gina Court to dine pillar home. I yes, Sana we are sitting here until we know to me, and it's also a lesson to people within this government today. Because when you're to me and now, Rollins a crow for 20 good years. And not a time will come and the present day will become a past. The only thing you can relish is the name of So you have no opportunity to say, let us leave a good legacy. Even a today I didn't name a bit young Casa cry a mistake you cry now. When your team are before now, what you defend.
Yeah.
Because the governance is a human institution. Administrative work is a human institution. But we bet me about to a point here, a today.
Why?
Somebody. To me, a say, even though Mammy are way there, but people will come to your aid. But in the case of Torkornoo, it was rather the citizens and not more rising against or no. even aside what was happening on the lines of law, no, people within this particular country, social media, there were jubilation, people were mocking her.
Exactly.
That is where the law is the law became
popular,
trending over social media. Do you think it was President Mahama who was trending that particular way? Or was it people within the NDC?
No.
Or the judiciary?
No.
It was Ghanaians who felt so bad about the timer, not arrogance, and that's Akuffo Etuguno. And I know more reference has said the law is the law. So you better shut up and go through the process or you back out. It's as simple as that. So it's a lesson. And for me, I'm not sure that anything has happened. Now I buy a macho mind so who said your friend saying, "Baby, I don't to me you see boss to be macho mind, but
you're ready, Yago.
I say on your beam. I'm say okay, and you've been a bit more. Oh yeah. You see, your mind. Yes. Your mind decency running through your way. And can never be or her now they see UK Prime Minister. Kestama. On one time, he will say, never back one, resign. And if you go back to UK history, there are about 5 to 6 prime ministers. And being a prime minister in the UK is like a president.
Yeah.
Position president in the Kwabrani Jano. And yes, wa fume mrana sa wa ye me conscience catch and say promise not promising in microphone when to me ni so nti waja na hoko na de mradi na ya pam na kwatena fie kura twen katesi ya mpa ne mra. That is the black man, the mindset about power yenya enam say ye munu we are hollow, we are not confident within ourselves.
Sure.
Ye free say just ye nya tumi bi ne de ho bata ansa na ye feeling okay. That is why I'm for you to me okrum ha. I'm for to come na V8 na the camera dinatina ye twa no si free come na ye twa na because that is the only thing that makes them feel okay. If you take those things away within the person, they feel hollow.
Yeah.
But if you are somebody who have self-confidence, you believe in yourself or some of these things, you don't need to hug idea and stand what feel big. Even you naked, you feel proud of yourself. You understand? That is what self-confidence can do to people. So these are some of the areas as you see. People can proudly resign somewhere because after all, there is life after 2 million.
Yeah.
There is life after everything. By a hand, no. Me say with the 2 million, makwabrana na catch and say, "Oh, fan a 1 week." Obeti asi am wafan because 2 million, oh here 2 million, 2 million so nya nkwasade no di kodi. That is the typical black man for you. So I think say going forward, I'm hoping say the boss man asare no ma ye.
Yeah. James Asokranya the same thing no onko.
Ache na
wache bi minim de ote ho a oye.
Set tete no dey so resign Kofi na.
No so was wa pension.
Yes, and I think that these are some of the things as you share your politics no nipa hu nyansa say ofum nipa one kasa on your own.
Oh, no.
It's not always about law.
Yeah.
That is why when people are making unnecessary frivolous legal argument, I make catch almost say Ghana na yet no. It's not a legal environment. Ghana, apart from the legal side, just small, even though we all live under the constitution.
Yeah.
But the constitution itself cannot be said to be a strict legal document. But within it, policy emanates. Within it, our social context is regulated, everything. So even the constitution, is an embodiment of we the people and our lifestyle. That is why constitution catches Supreme Court to say, Supreme Court ain't bound by or not the previous ruling because they know that circumstances will keep changing. Dynamics be changing. And you bet you ruling be 1992. But every near best sent to a point that particular ruling has to be reversed.
Yeah.
And this is Supreme Court cannot depart from one case and the previous ruling. It means that the box and a shame. No, I think that thing must be accommodated. It's the reason why entities in the CEOs in the going forward, the boss man has had high. Among oh, yes.
Wow, we're not there now.
Have the boss and walk away.
Just walk away.
Now, in dignity, now you inquire him. And the boss man, sorry, there are allegations there, almost or no one can, and you'll be on handing out.
Yeah.
Or no one, near my bonnet, no more than a son there. Now, what the honor who said a whole constituency will deny them representation for 8 months. I have friends for almost 4 years. Now, so we in the power conscience. When you saw better. Ma me na ono aka no fancy Jemensano or any iota of we shame be baby I send kono kwa na edi kan ko because this guy going away what is he sitting there doing you understand
and me see ya kwasi tete no na ye engineer of ade o ye ni nyina tete no so na ekoi
Yes.
Just what to wear it.
And your friend say, an American, the boss is not there. People are thinking about salary and the kind of benefit. And so, you so resign here, not whatever she's entitled to, and so forth. But life is not always about positions. I hang on to chichiche, Bashaka Brane, Kaya, emphasis, no cannot be a minute, no one
not
because honorable.
PENDREAM TV now so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.